Ready? What's going on, you guys? How's it going? How we feeling? Hey, hello. How's it going? Hola. And most importantly, hello, Justin. By the way, my name is Haley Scott, if you don't already know, and I'm joined with my lovely co-host, Justin Satawa.
Not joined by Ryan, though, today.
True.
Ryan has gone Hollywood on us after his 6-0 college football picks that he gave out this weekend. He's gone Hollywood. He didn't show up. I don't know what's going on with him. He obviously doesn't like the squad anymore, so it's just me and Haley today. It's a shame because it will never be referenced again in the show's history because he's not here, so he doesn't get to take a victory lap for it, and he doesn't get to take credit for it. So
True, and we had a crown waiting for him. So, Ryan, if you see this, we're not happy that you're not here, but we also miss you. But we think that you think that you're better than us because, like Justin said, you went 6-0, and I don't even want to know how I did.
You didn't do that bad. You went 3-3.
Okay.
You're sailing along at a smooth 6-6. But we got a lot to talk about today. We
have quite a bit to talk about. Of course, we're going to talk about the Michigan and Michigan State games that happened, as well as all the other games that had previously happened that we gave our picks to last week, the upcoming games this week, and so much more. I'm so excited, but can we just take a deep breath? Like, how are you doing today? How has your weekend gone?
My weekend was awful. My sports teams ruined my weekend, so the Lions in Michigan was not fun. I had to sit up here in front of a couple thousand people and crash the hell out while they all watched as Michigan proceeded to not even attempt to win that game. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully they improve. We'll get more into it in a couple minutes, but I was thoroughly disappointed. How was your weekend, Haley?
My weekend was good. I just got back from California, and that was my second time ever there, so super fun time. Great to get some warm weather. Had to get my ample tanning in before this Michigan weather is slowly quickly turning into fall. So, but you know what? I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to talk some college football. Do you want to tell us quickly, actually not quickly at all, who do you blame for Michigan's loss? Because like you said, you crashed out, and I'm sure people were very happy, but also in a way not happy to see that.
And if you want to answer the question, make sure you get into the Woodward Sports chat, drop a like as well. We'd love to hear your opinion, read off on the show as well. I blame the coaching staff for the most part, and I'm going to pull up a quote here because I have a quote that I saved from Sharon Moore about Bryce Underwood and them deciding that they didn't want to use Bryce Underwood in the run game. So, from Sharon Moore himself, when you run one quarterback, you better have two. Saying that we're not going to run Bryce Underwood because we don't want him to get hurt. And to me, that just tells me that they weren't actually serious about winning the game. Because you saw what John Mateer was able to do for that Oklahoma offense.
Oh, yeah.
He cut them up. He was able to use his legs to extend drives, make plays, make throws downfield. John Mateer put on an absolute masterclass on how to be a dual-threat quarterback. And on the flip side, I felt like Michigan was playing to not lose the game instead of trying to win the game. And that's my biggest issue. Michigan came out, and they had a great first-drive game plan. Mm-hmm. They established the run a little bit. They made a beautiful designed rollout for Bryce Underwood on a nice PA boot, easy completion, and then he made a nice play rolling out to his right downfield. For the rest of the game, they did not do that one other time. They proceeded to continue to throw screens. They continued to not run mesh plays to get guys open against man coverage. Just an absolute disaster class by Chip Lindsey. Was completely unimpressed. I felt like they had the training wheels on Bryce Underwood the entire day, and they never even gave him a chance to go out and win the game. And that's my issue. I don't think that when you have a guy like Bryce Underwood who's as talented as Bryce Underwood, yes, there's going to be mistakes, but he also learns more from being put into the fire. If you just allow him to be babied, he's not going to improve. If you would have let him go out there and attempt to throw the ball the entire game, and not just when you were destined to lose and you were trying to come back from anything and there were obvious passing situations where you allowed Oklahoma's pass rush to really take over. That's my issue. If they would have let him continue to do those design rollouts, play the game, I do think the score would have been closer at the end of the day, and I do think this Michigan offense would be more successful.
Who do you blame specifically?
I don't know, because I don't know if Sharon Moore is the one that is telling Chip Lindsey that Bryce Underwood shouldn't run, or if it's Chip Lindsey and his offense. Because I understand that you want to develop him as a pocket passer. You want him to be that next guy. You want him to be a prototypical NFL quarterback. I understand all of that. The issue with it is there is an element to the game now with all these prototypical quarterbacks like Josh Allen. He still looks to throw before he runs. But the running is still a factor. Even Patrick Mahomes uses his mobility to extend plays, extend first downs. And we're not talking about a frail freshman. We're talking about a Mack truck. Bryce Underwood's massive. He's as big as any of these guys. And when they did decide to run a draw up the middle, they got 9 yards. The proof's in the pudding. I'm sorry. Like the one time they decided to run a QB run the entire game, they got a first down, and it was a critical first down. I believe that if you would have been able to create that pressure on that Oklahoma defense, it would have caused a lot more successful drives for Michigan.
Someone that I blame for losing this Michigan game is myself. I think I put too much faith in Michigan, and realistically, when you look at it, Bryce Underwood just wasn't ready. You know, that's not to say that I don't think that he was poised in his game and he had some good plays, definitely some mistakes, you know, but this is his first road game. This is his first actual tough team that he's playing. And for that, I think that he specifically did well, but there were just too many other factors. Like defensively, they missed Barham a lot. They missed a lot in the first half. The first half, I mean, they just all looked pretty slow.
They had no sideline-to-sideline ability. It was really, really disappointing, especially because of the quality of the linebackers behind Barham.
The cornerbacks got cooked. John Mateer ran all over the place, all over them. I mean, a couple times they had Mateer in the back, and he'd break a tackle and go for a first down. Like, if you can't run the ball and you face a high-level defense, then they can shut you down, especially Brent Venables' defense. Like, they were insane, and they really rushed them, and they couldn't really handle the heat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Alex Wims hits it right in the head. John Mateer is a dog, absolutely.
He's
and
a freaking dog.
I tried to tell everyone how good he was. He was the number 1 ranked quarterback in the portal for a reason. I think he showed that to everyone. It's disappointing to see and for it to happen, especially this early in the season, because now the margin for error is so slim for Michigan going forward down the stretch here.
But you're right about being frustrated that they didn't give Bryce Underwood the chance to really show his star power. You know what I mean? Do I think that if they did, then he would have gone crazy and they would have won? No. But still, like, if you have a quarterback to that caliber, then put him in. Let's see what he can do. Have him run those plays. Like, have him run. You know what I mean? So with that being said, what is your confidence level with Bryce Underwood moving forward?
I think my confidence level hinders on the offensive line, because I think that was the most bleak part of this Michigan-Oklahoma game, and Mike G hits it right in the head. Michigan's O-line is in trouble, still waiting on this defense. Absolutely. And Michigan's offensive line losing in the first half was absolutely brutal. That's their best offensive lineman. And now they had, that great explosive play with Justice Haynes, and that really broke their rushing yards open, but they weren't necessarily as successful as we've seen the past couple of years. When I go into a Michigan game on most occasions, I know that they are going to dominate the offensive line. They're going to get push every single run play, and they did not get that. There was time and time again where Michigan was getting pushed back, and it didn't seem like they had the confidence of old where, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, we're going straight ahead. We're going right over the defensive line. No matter how good they are, we're tougher, we're bigger, and we are more physical, and that's where I think that Michigan offensive line struggled.
Continuing to talk about not giving Bryce Underwood opportunity to go full force. They didn't allow him to like get comfortable with dropping out of the pocket and making those throws. They didn't allow him to run the ball as much as I would have hoped. I mean, he ran like a 9-yard play, and that was good, but what else? We need more. And honestly, in today's football, like quarterbacks need to be able to run, which I know that he can. He has the legs on him, but they need to let him. You know what I mean? And with the Oklahoma defense, they just confused Bryce Underwood, took advantage of him, and that was a big factor in their win. You know what I mean? Once again, Bryce Underwood did not have much motion, but hopefully they know that that's something that needs to be incorporated with upcoming games, especially of this caliber of toughness.
Absolutely, and you can only go up from here. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about, and this is the toughest defense he'll face until Ohio State. So it's going to be interesting going through these next 2 games without Sharon Moore. I definitely am concerned with Bryce Underwood going into Nebraska and going into USC. It's going to be the first time he's ever cross country to play a football game, and teams notoriously struggle when having to go east-west and west-east. So that is concerning to me. I think the margin for error now is very slim. Only have 1 loss to give if you're trying to make the playoff. Nicholas Duncan, I don't think they're frauds. I think that they're middling right now. I mean, you don't know what they are. You'll know what they are when they have some signature wins. They don't have any signature wins right now until they actually get into Big Ten play. I don't think you can fairly grade this team because, in my opinion, at this point, all the preseason narratives I have had are over. The season has started. I'm not holding on to any of those predictions. I'm going to call it how I see it. If I think that I'm wrong early, I will tell you. I think I'm wrong about Clemson. I said they would win the national title. I don't currently believe that. I think Ohio State will, and that's where I sit right now.
Right.
That can change. But right now, I'm going to tell you straight up, I think Ohio State's the best team in the country. That could change. I think Michigan is still playoff adjacent. They're still going to, I think there's no doubt in my mind they're going to finish here in the top 25. I do question whether or not they're going to be able to topple the schedule because with a lot of tough road games and Ohio State sitting at the back end of the schedule, it's going to be a tough path for Michigan. I think they can do it, but it's going to be Bryce Underwood that's going to unlock this offense because the offensive line certainly didn't do him any favors.
I'm happy that you somewhat turned the conversation on a positive note because on a positive note, I still think that he looked very poised. I think that he, with what he was faced,
I did like the fire on the sideline. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but he and Justice Haynes got into a little argument on the sideline, and I like that fire, and I like that they calmed and resolved very quickly. It shows the maturity of him. Completely agree with how poised he is as a quarterback.
Right. Not only is he passionate about what he's doing, that he's getting into those heated, interactions, but also has the maturity to step back from it and not let it be a big thing, which we've definitely seen in football games before. It turns into fights, it turns into the whole team's involved and all that stuff. So luckily it didn't escalate too much, but comparatively, I know last week, I want to say, I compared Bryce Underwood to Arch Manning, which I don't think was too fair, obviously, because Michigan had played New Mexico, and it's New Mexico, you know what I mean? And Texas had played Ohio State. That's apples to oranges or, like, apples to freaking passion fruit or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got what you're saying, for
but
sure.
Now I feel like I'm allowed to compare. So as far as what Michigan was faced with Oklahoma, Bryce Underwood looked poised. He still had some good plays. I mean, like, there was one play where he was able to threaten the defenders, force them to commit. A receiver was wide open. He made a great throw, first down for Michigan. Definitely had some mistakes as well, but comparatively, when Arch Manning was faced with that type of pressure, with such forceful, heavy rushing defense, he kind of choked, honestly. And that's why I have so much more faith in Bryce Underwood, and I'm still so excited to see him continue this journey because he's only going to get better, and he's starting at a good spot, in my opinion. And I still think that he's the future, and I think that he's the future for Michigan, and once again, we've never seen anything like him. So this is only his first year. he's going to get better and better and better. And then assumingly, hopefully he stays with Michigan, then, come next year and the year after that, he's going to be freaking insane. And he's going to be a part of the John Mateer conversation. You know what I mean?
Yes, I believe that a Heisman contention season is very on the table for Bryce Underwood.
And another thing with that is that, we need more reliable pass catchers. You know what I mean? Like,
I do agree. I think that there definitely was a slight element of the weapons. And if you guys want to throw your chat in there about Bryce Underwood or the weapons, please do. Because I'm curious to know what the people think about this. I want to know, because there was definitely a lack of easy completions for Bryce Underwood where you would expect some of your receivers to get open and help out your young quarterback. That is, like, McCulley, obviously, it's his first true season playing wide receiver, so tough for him. Then you're relying on freshmen and then a career underperformer in Samaj Borgen. It's just not – and then without Klein as well, I think that's another big thing. I think that this right here, Mike G in the chat, lack of O-line and lack of big play receivers. I think that – yeah, it's the best way you could say it. There's just not a lot of, like you saw with the New Mexico game, Klein was the best receiver on the team by far, even as a tight end, and he was the one that Bryce Underwood relied on. And you take away your freshman's best weapon, his most relied upon weapon. Yeah, it made sense what we saw, but he's going to have to learn to overcome that. He's not always going to have all his safety blankets. He's not always going to have the best of circumstances, so it's a good learning experience for him. He's not going to be judged on this one game. Like Neil likes to say, it was always going to be a wash. So Michigan's got to go out there and they got to figure out how they're going to succeed against Nebraska and against USC coming up.
So like that comment said, a big part of it was the offensive line. So what specifically are your concerns with the offensive line?
Not getting enough push. I mean, I've never seen Michigan not be able to truly establish a grueling, powerful run game in years. It's been since the beginning of the Jim Harbaugh era against Ohio State, and I think that that's a big issue, and I think that the Michigan fan base, if they were going to be realistic, would be lying to themselves if they didn't think that the lack of identity on the offensive line wouldn't be an issue. I just don't – I wouldn't understand it because we've seen the level of talent that's come through this offensive line room over the past couple of years with Zach Zinter, with Keegan, and all those guys. I mean, they had a loaded room of offensive line for the past couple of years, and now we're seeing a little bit of a drop-off.
So last year there were questions about Ohio State's O-line, and they won the title. Do you think that this could be a similar situation for Michigan?
Say that one more time?
I said last year Ohio State had questions about their O-line, but they won the title. So do you think that this could be a similar situation for Michigan? It
definitely can. O-line can always improve, and they're only going to get better, especially we got a couple young guys, a couple first-time starters. I think that that's a big case. And the coaches are still in place to be able to bring that push. I don't know how long they're going to be able to bring this team up to speed. Mike G, shout out to you. If our O-line isn't elite, AK smash, it's going to be hard for Justice and Jordan. The blueprint is to beat UM is out there. OU loaded it up, 6 in the box, and we had 0 push. Absolutely. It's a big concern. The playbook is out on us until we prove that we can have a sustained passing attack or Bryce Underwood can be absolutely dangerous with his legs. Teams are just going to stack the box and stop the run on us, and we're going to be cooked. So it's going to be interesting to see what they have for Nebraska and if they truly decide that it's time to unleash Bryce Underwood.
So maybe a lot of people knew the outcome of what this game was going to be. Maybe a lot of people were surprised, but it's good that it happened. You know what I mean? Now we know how they play as a whole against a tough team. With that being said, do you think that they're a playoff team?
I think that they're teetering right now.
Mm-hmm.
These next couple weeks are going to be a very big tell. The next 3 weeks, I think, will decide whether or not Michigan can make the playoff or not. I think if they can prove that they can, because the only way you win on the road is if you go in and you dominate the line of scrimmages. That's how you win on the road. You don't win on the road if you can't establish the run, and that's what Michigan's identity is. So if they can't go establish the run in Nebraska, if they can't go establish the run in California at USC, I question whether or not they're going to lose one of those games if they don't do that. So I'm going to say my concern warning right now, I was at a 0 because they wasn't concerned at all. They were 1-0, and they hadn't played a big opponent. But now I would say my concern's at a 6. I'm teetering that 60% they won't make the playoff, 40% they will. But I'm not putting it off the table. But they need vast improvement. That's the only way that this is going to work.
Right. I'm at a 5 right now. I feel like I'm 50-50. You know, they do have Nebraska. They have USC on the road. Obviously, traveling is a big factor for a new quarterback as well. But, you know, kind of the rest of their schedule is pretty favorable. And I think that when faced with these tough games initially, maybe they can learn sooner and then dominate later on.
You feel good about that one?
Yeah.
Sooner? Huh? Feel good about that one?
Oh, damn.
I'm kidding.
I can't believe I said that. All right. Do you think we're done talking about Michigan?
Yeah, let's give Sparty some love. They deserve it.
Let's give Sparty some love. I am wearing Spartan colors. Didn't even mean to do that, but I'm okay to wear some Spartan colors because I'm happy with how they played against Boston College. What do you think about Aiden Childs and his performance?
I mean, Aiden Childs proved that he has it in him. I think that there was a lot of games and a lot of questions where you saw him make mistake after mistake, losing them games. I mean, you saw it last year when they played Boston College. 3 picks absolutely put him in the coffin. This year, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. He was absolutely amazing in his decision-making. He did a great job at deciding whether or not he should be throwing the ball out of bounds, whether he should be scrambling. And there was this crucial play in the fourth quarter. It was 3rd and 9. Pocket collapsed on him. He escapes, breaks 2 tackles, gets a first down. Critical for them to be able to go and force overtime and then win the game. Their receivers are unbelievable. They are going to absolutely boat race some teams in the Big Ten. They do play some very good offenses down the stretch. They don't really get the pleasure of playing any team that has an absolute incompetent offense because Michigan State would blow them out the wazoo because their offense is very good. I will give them credit. Amari Kelly is hands down one of the best route runners in college football. And I don't know exactly where it would be, but out of the college football I watched this year, and I've watched a ton, he's been absolutely popping off the screen with how he runs his routes. Nick Marsh, physical weapon, specimen. He's proven on that first touchdown that he bowled over two defenders to get in the end zone. And then McCray came alive and really showed that they have this beautiful 3-headed monster in their offense. I think that they're going to be a tough task, even for Michigan too, especially with how their lines played, Michigan's lines played. I question whether or not they're going to be able to get pressure on Aiden Childs. And Aiden Childs, when he has time, and if he's slinging it like he did against BC, that offense is going to be electric.
I completely agree. I think he played really well, and I was happy to see him play this way because that's how he's supposed to play.
Yes.
That's not to say that he didn't make mistakes, but he didn't really let Boston College take advantage of those mistakes, which obviously is a good thing. He looked very good. He made a lot of good throws. And I think that if he limits those turnovers, then the offense being that good already can really be elite. Absolutely.
I think that the issue with the Sparties right now is their defense. BC does not have very good weapons. Yeah, their quarterback was slinging the ball around the yard, but they don't have great weapons. Secondary was absolutely atrocious. They got absolutely cooked the entire game, and that is very concerning, especially on running back, short passes, check down, screens. They were getting killed on those all game, and that's exactly what Michigan's going to want to do against them. So I guess there's a little to and fro for that matchup. I think that there's pathways to both teams winning schematically and on the field, so we're going to have to wait and see. But I do think that Michigan State is trending upwards. Maybe their record doesn't truly show how much better they are this year because they do have a tougher schedule than they had last year, but I do think they're a better team, and there's no doubt about that.
So a conversation that we've had a few times is the correlation of the quarterback and the head coach. The performance of the quarterback heavily affecting the reputation of the head coach, and I'm pretty sure Ryan had asked us a question, something along the lines of, how long is Jonathan Smith going to last type of thing. So what do you think about Jonathan Smith after this game? And overall, do you think that his career is saved?
I think that his hot seat went from being, if we're going red to green meter with yellow and orange in between, I'm going to say he was in the orange. Now he's teetering between yellow and orange. I think if they don't make a bowl game still, it's going to be a very big mark on his resume where that people are going to look at it and be like, I don't know. I would be concerned if I was Jonathan Smith if I didn't make a bowl game. But I would say for now, Michigan State's fan base is very happy with beating a team that they haven't beat of that caliber in a couple years. So they're going in the right direction. I could obviously go to the other direction very quickly, and he could be on the hot seat.
A big conversation that follows Michigan State and Jonathan Smith is if they are going to make it to a bowl game. Do we think that they're going to, or maybe a better question would be, do you think winning 6 games is the ceiling, more or less?
I'm still struggling to see 7. 6 is definitely on the table. So, I don't know. I think the jury's still out on them completely. I'm not ready to just say I guarantee they're going to make a bowl game. I need to see them against another really solid opponent. One of these road games against Nebraska or UFC, if they win one of those, I'm going to say they're definitely going to make a bowl game if they win one of those.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Just to make a bold statement now, I'm going to say that Michigan State is going to make a bowl game, but that 6, that's going to be their ceiling. I don't think that they can get past that. These tough games are definitely going to be very telling, but I think that we could be very pleasantly surprised. That defense definitely needs to be improved. It's concerning, but the offense is on a completely other hand becoming elite, especially with hopefully the improvements of Aiden Childs, limiting those turnovers. Then we could really see some good stuff in the future.
Absolutely. I'm more than confident about the future of Michigan State. I think they're going to be really good next year. I think next year you guys might be a playoff team. If you guys play your cards right in the portal, you keep Nick Marsh, you keep Aiden Childs. I mean, you got enough skill position there. You're just going to need to fill your trenches out offensively and defensively, and I think they're pretty close, to be honest. I think Michigan's really close too. It's kind of the tale of the two tails, where Michigan needs skill position players to finish out their roster to be at that level. We'll have to see. I definitely agree with Mike G in the chat, though. Samaj and McCulley need to step up, and Klein needs to get healthy. Absolutely. This offense is going nowhere without Klein. That's what it appears.
What are some other things that they could improve on the defensive side?
On the defensive side, I just don't think they got the dudes. It's that simple. I think they're too light on the defensive line. They don't have enough depth. Where late in games, they struggle to go sideline to sideline. Same thing with the linebackers. And their secondary got cooked all day. So I don't think there's anything really positive about Michigan State's defense right now. I'd be very similar to Michigan's offense.
Absolutely. Maybe we can conclude on this Michigan State talk and briefly just go over what we thought of the games from last week.
Games last week. Well, first of all, your boy, Avery Johnson, Luscious Locks himself, proving the fake good allegations correct, losing to Army. I mean, that's ridiculous. If you're Kansas State, you can't be losing to Army. I don't know what we're doing there. Haley, I know that was like your first take was about Avery Johnson, so that's why it's sticking here, because I mean, you're never living that one down. I tried to warn her pre-show too. That's the thing. Like I came to her pre-show and I was like, just telling you, Avery Johnson gonna lose this game somehow. He just always does, and he did. So very funny for that to happen. Any thoughts about
Army?
To Army, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Neo Rule Service Academy football triple option. They actually ran a triple option pass. It was absolutely elite. It was one of the coolest play call I've ever seen. I was sitting there. I was like, whoa. Little pitch back to the triple option. Guy just rans it up, throws it 50 yards for a touchdown. It was absolutely insane.
I never said I was a die-hard Avery Johnson fan, but I think
Nope, it gets stuck to you.
From the initial conversation from the season kickoff, yes, I was defending him quite a bit, but to Army?
To Army.
Damn. Yeah, that's That's not okay.
Let's take you through a couple of some of the shows. We'll put favorites in quotation because some of them I hate and some of them other people hate. First of all, the amount of games that went like 65 or 70 like points plus, there was multiple this weekend. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I've never seen a weekend like that where we're talking multiple scores, 60-point margins, especially Oregon just absolutely laid the wood on Oklahoma State. 69-3. And that's two power conference teams playing each other. Like, that's actually insane that it was that bad.
That just goes to show like how exciting this season of college football is. I mean, you really never know what you're going to expect.
Another one, Florida loses to USF.
Unbelievable.
At home. 2 big upsets in a row for USF. USF's starting quarterback actually was out the first half because he was out partying at a frat the night before the game. Cummins in the second half wins the game. Honestly, absolutely hilarious. You can't make that a show. Most college football story from a Florida school I've ever seen.
Who else? Clemson.
Clemson almost lost to Troy.
Clemson almost lost to Troy.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, no, they didn't lose.
Concerning.
But how do you let Troy get 13 plus points on you? Clemson was able to squeeze out a win. You shouldn't be able to squeeze out a win from Troy. That should be an easy dub.
Yeah, that definitely should have been an absolute feet kick-up game, but Troy was able to put up a nice fight. Another one that I think was interesting was Illinois, obviously, Big Ten team. Luke Altmaier looked very good, absolutely slinging the ball around the yard. Didn't think that he had it in him, to be honest. I was not – I mean, I knew he was solid. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think he was that special. The amount of elite throws he made was very surprising, to say the least.
Did we already talk about Missouri and Kansas?
No, we did not. Shout out to Simeon.
Dude, shout out to Simeon.
You got to get Sim on. I was going to have him on this week, but Ryan didn't show up, so.
Simeon texted Justin, Ryan, and I in a group chat and was like, wow, really, guys?
I'm a Jalen Daniels truther, man. I can't help myself.
He took that personally for sure.
He did. He might have told the boys on the field he works for Missouri Athletics. He probably gave him a little fire-up speech, showed him what's up.
Yeah, for sure. I could totally see that.
Another Big 12 favorite that went down was Arizona State. They lost to Mississippi State, which is I don't know why you would ever schedule that game if I'm Arizona State in the non-con. There's 0 point, and if they get left out of the playoff because of that, I would hysterically laugh at them because the current state of college football is just don't play anybody and win your games and go to the playoff. It's that simple. Literally play no one, beat everyone, make the playoff.
Mississippi State looked good, and they've been bad for a couple of years.
Yeah, they have.
We already talked about Illinois and
Iowa State. Rocco Beck
State.
made plays, was able to get the dub there. I don't think there was a lot. The best game of the weekend, in my opinion, though, was Baylor SMU. That game was an absolute barn burner.
Right.
Sawyer
Robertson definitely proved why he's such a good quarterback.
No doubt. I think that coming back from multiple 10-point deficits and he was slinging that thing. He might be an NFL quarterback. I'm kind of flipping my opinion on him. The way that he reads defenses and he's got that quick release, I'm kind of feeling a little NFL quarterback about him.
Calvin Jennings definitely let MSU down a couple of times.
Oh, no doubt.
The game.
There's no doubt.
So.
All right, we got to go through the pick'em. We got to update everyone about the standings from last week. Ryan, 6-0. Will never get to claim victory over it because he's not here. So, sucks for him.
Wait. Okay.
I went 4-2. I had a very solid day, not the best. And Haley now has the 3-3 record, bringing the records to 7-5 for me. 4-0 in my best bets, though. Got to give myself credit on that one. When I tell you what it is, I've been right about it. Haley, 6-6. Ryan, 8-4. He has the lead, last to first last week. So, got to give him credit. That's for sure.
Ryan, this could have been yours. This could have been yours today if you had just come and TD'd. But.
And Chase, before we get started, there is really no Big 12 team that will deservedly make the playoff. One of them will have to, but it will only be one because this conference is so bad.
Right.
So,
Shall we talk about
recap on the best bets while Haley pulls up the games to run you guys through the pick'em. Best bets last week, I gave out 2 because I gave out one on the pregame show of the Michigan-Oklahoma game. So we're going to do another one of those this weekend as well. So check out Michigan Central Michigan this weekend. Me and Nicholas Koloff will be manning the desk for you guys. But Baylor was my best bet and the under in the Michigan-Oklahoma game. Haley, take us away.
So let's talk about what's to come, and let's give our picks. Let's start with Clemson versus Georgia Tech.
This is such an interesting game because Clemson's been playing so bad, and this Georgia Tech team is already battle-tested. They went on the road. They played Colorado. Haynes King is not a good quarterback, but he's a dog. Mm-hmm. And that's a big thing in college football because dogs will win you games. I'm not going to pick a winner because I'm a wiener like that. I'm going to take the spread. I'm going to take Georgia Tech plus 3.5. I think that they're going to play a really tight game. They might end up with the win. I just don't think that Clemson is good enough to absolutely blow the doors out of a very solid, good Georgia Tech team.
Yeah, I'm going to give that game to Georgia Tech. As far as Clemson goes, which has been surprising to everyone, but they opened the year with a home loss to LSU. Their game with Troy, they were trailed by 13 points but ended up winning, but that's still concerning because it's Troy. It should have been an easy win. Offensively, they really haven't played that well, and their offense is giving the same problems that it did early last year. So I don't have much faith in Clemson. As far as Georgia Tech goes, they already have a 2-0 start to this season, so I'm sure they want to make it 3-0. As far as Haynes King goes, if he goes, he knows exactly what to do. Ball control, he has the physicality, and if he plays the way that he's supposed to play, then they could definitely come out with a win.
Absolutely.
Did you say that they're projected to win?
No.
Oh,
they're projected to lose.
Oh, okay.
So if you would like, you can take them plus 3.5 like I did, or you can take them to win outright.
Just to win.
To win. All right.
Okay, next we have Georgia versus Tennessee.
I think this game is always such a great game. Going into Neyland is so tough. It really is. And I'm not feeling all too confident about this pick. I'm not going to lie to you, Haley. I'm not. But I got to plug my nose. I got to just go with my system. And my system is to take Tennessee plus 3.5. I don't know if they're going to win, but I definitely don't think that I think there's a better chance that Tennessee loses by less than 3 than Georgia wins outright. I do respect Georgia a ton outside the quarterback position. I do think Gunnar Stockton is kind of mid as hell. I have yet to be really wowed by him. Joey Aguilar also mid, but home field advantage, especially this early in the season, is such a big factor.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to give it to Tennessee. I think they're ready for it.
Joey Aguilar season.
I agree. We have Florida and LSU.
Florida and LSU. Oh, man. I really don't like this game because I was a Florida truther. I'll admit it. I did think that Florida was going to be better than they were. Maybe last week was just a look-ahead game where they weren't really thinking of USF and they were thinking about LSU. I do think LSU is going to win the game. Mm-hmm. Okay? But I do think that Florida is going to cover the 9.5. So I'm going to take Florida plus 9.5. I think that they're not going to lose by more than 10. I'm
giving this game to LSU.
It's fair. You don't even have to really explain it because they're the clear favorite to win this game. I don't think LSU is as good as people are saying, and especially with how we've seen Clemson over these last 2 weeks, I am feeling like less wowed by that win by the week. So I just...
Do you have specific reasons on why you're less wowed?
Because Clemson looks like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really simple.
So
like
you're
that
saying,
Clemson team
it doesn't say that much about LSU.
Yes, I think that they're both currently overrated.
Okay.
I always thought LSU was overrated, and then they beat Clemson. I wanted to give them the bump, but now I'm kind of thinking that I'm bringing them back down. I don't know if they're really that special, especially first SEC game of the season. Competition's going to be off the charts. Give me Florida.
Well, I guess we'll really see if they're really that special.
We will see, 100%.
Game. Next, we have Texas A&M versus Notre Dame. Also, shout out to my cousin, CJ Jones. He used to play for Texas A&M back in 2012.
Hey.
He was the 12th man.
Aggies, hell yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, with that being said, I'm going to give that game to Notre Dame.
I really have been going back and forth about this game because the only time you've seen Notre Dame was at Miami. And Miami looked good. Notre Dame looked good in the second half. Texas A&M hasn't played anyone. I am high on Texas A&M. I really like Texas A&M. But this one really been stumping me. I can't lie. I'm going to go with and I know I'm going to contradict myself because I know I literally just said 5 minutes ago that I'm going off of what I see now versus what I saw in the preseason, and I still do believe that. But I don't know, so I'm going to lean on my preseason prediction, and I'm going to take the points with Texas A&M, and I'm going to take Texas A&M plus 6.5. I do think Notre Dame's going to win the game. I do think Texas A&M is going to cover, though.
Finally, we have Vanderbilt.
Also, Chase, yes, Brian Kelly does choke once a year. and this
so
could
true.
be it. This would make sense for it to be the game.
Vanderbilt versus South Florida. I gave this to South Florida.
Taking South Florida? The Dreamboat against your dude, what? Against your ACC champ?
Wait. Vanderbilt?
South Florida's playing Miami.
Oh, well, that's my mistake because I said Vanderbilt.
No.
Oh, it's against Miami? My bad.
South Carolina plays Vanderbilt.
Oh, shit.
All right,
I'm giving that to Miami.
Rewind.
Yeah.
She's not picking against Miami. We know this about her at this point.
Oh, no, I'm giving that to Miami. Hey, let me make a mistake.
Give me Miami. Big.
Give
I think
me
they're going to
Miami.
absolutely slap
now I'm
USF.
hyped. I was like, all right.
No, I think
Vanderbilt.
Miami's going to slap.
Hell yeah. Okay, well, that's so funny. That's the conclusion of the upcoming games that we...
You missed one.
Which one?
Vanderbilt, South Carolina. I just told you.
Okay, so that's how I mixed it up.
Yeah, you just switched to one of the names. That's on me. I don't text in a very organized fashion, so don't blame Haley. Blame me. I'm a very, very unorganized guy at times.
No, it's okay. I should know. Okay, well, you tell me what you think first while I'm doing this.
Oh, this hurts my soul because I love Lenore Sellers. I really do. But there comes a point in every man's life where you got to let the preseason prediction go and you got to roll with what the numbers telling me. And South Carolina might win this game, but I'm taking Vandy plus the 5.5. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think all these SEC games are going to be close. Cortez, I'll hit you with a 5-game parlay at the end. Don't worry. I got you, man. I'll get you active. But I think I'm going to take Vandy in the points. That game's going to be a tough game. South Carolina has shown some weaknesses. If Drones was not terrible in the first game for Virginia Tech, they would have had a chance to beat South Carolina. I think Vanderbilt's a better team. Well, they actually just beat Virginia Tech pretty handedly. So I think it's going to be a really good game.
I also think it will be a really good game because of the quarterback matchup. You have Diego Pavia and Lenore Sellers.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the SEC.
Right.
I'm now ready to say that Diego Pavia is a top 5 SEC quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback, but he's a very good college quarterback. He probably should have left Vandy, though. He probably could have won a national title with a different team.
I will give it to South Carolina. They've also won 16 straight meetings in the series.
You saw what that did for
Since
Baylor last
2008.
week. They'd won 11 in a row in that SMU series, so you're on the right track.
So. But yeah, okay. Let me do my organization, highlighting that. But with the time that we have left, now that concludes our picks.
Thank you, Crazy Clown. I hope you have a great rest of your day as well. Thank you for tapping in. And we appreciate everyone being here, hanging out with us on a Tuesday evening. Haley, what part of Michigan and Michigan State's schedule fears you the most? Where on each of their schedules are you looking at? Maybe it's a pot of games. Maybe it's one game in specific. Where do you look at the schedule and you go, that's a tough ask of this team?
For Michigan, they play USC on the road, which is something of a concern to mine, because not only is it USC, but it's also on the road. So which week that is, I'm unsure.
That is week 5.
Okay, so it's semi coming up, and with what we've seen against a tough...
Are you more worried about Nebraska or USC? And is it more because of the travel or because of the team?
I would say the travel, honestly.
So that's why USC is more of a concern for you than Nebraska? Because I think that's really fair, because the travel is ridiculously grueling on these kids.
Yeah, and especially with like college football in general, like it's a common theme with you travel, you have some questionability in your playing. You're not used to your home field, or you're not used to that field. Home team advantage is a big thing, and I think that can play a big part, especially with a newbie quarterback in Bryce Underwood.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And shout out to the Detroit Tigers tying the game up. Parker Meadows, 2-run bomb. Chat's kind of going crazy about it, so we got to give the Detroit Tigers some love. But, yeah, the USC defense is soft, so that has been proven time and time again. If Michigan can run the ball effectively, they'll have a chance to win that game. No doubt in my mind. I think the same thing can be said for Michigan State, though, because it's kind of funny. Michigan and Michigan State do like a flip-flop of their schedule.
I know, I'm looking at
where
it right now.
Michigan plays Nebraska and then USC on the road, and Michigan State plays USC and then Nebraska on the road. Kind of hilarious how that ends up happening. So you're going to get a good look of both those teams, and they're both going to be – see, I do think that Michigan State does get the run of the litter, though, having to go to USC first.
Right.
And then having to go on the road again is going to be harder than for Michigan to go all the way out to the West Coast one time.
Like you said, Michigan State definitely has a pretty tough schedule. Yeah, you're right. They play USC, and then directly after they play Nebraska. They also obviously have to play Michigan, and then they also have to play Penn State. They've got a lot of challenges going their way. So honestly, just overall for Michigan State, their tough schedule. I'm happy to see that they're playing in my opinion, in an upward projection, but I don't think that this will be their fully breakout season for them.
I agree. I think next year is their breakout season. I'm pretty confident about that now. I think they're going to be good this year, but I think that next year is going to be really where you see them pop and really look like a very good team.
With the
and it's more my concern of them traveling across the country than it truly is the teams.
Right.
Because I do think if Michigan State was at home or Michigan was at home, these would be easy wins. But the fact that they're on the road, I think, is where I kind of have my questions.
Right. And same. I was gonna say, well, with the 10 minutes that we have left, do you want to do some little questions?
Yeah, why don't you hit me with the top 25 right now, and I will tell you what their chances are to making the playoff. Because we're really starting to see the true colors of some of these teams and how their schedules are shaking out and how good their schedules are, and I think that a lot of these teams but just don't have a path. They're just not. They have too many hard games where they're going to slip up and they're not going to have the wins to be able to make the playoff. Especially some good teams. A lot of the good teams have a lot of, especially one of them is Texas. I told you before the year, I think Texas is a 9-3 football team, and they're looking more like a 9-3 football team than they are a playoff team. So
right. So I looked up.
If you read me Penn State number 1, by the way, I haven't looked at the AP poll this week. I'm gonna end the show. The show is ending. I'm dead serious. The show is ending if you tell me Penn State's number 1.
Well, on AP News, as of right now.
Better be Ohio State.
So this was released September 7th. Yeah, and today's September 9th, so that's perfect.
Yep, that's exactly the one you're looking for.
Number 1 is Ohio State.
Okay.
Which I would
You're
agree
welcome.
with.
You guys get 8 more minutes of a show.
Number 2 is Penn State.
Dude, fuck that.
Yeah, low-key fuck that.
Have fun enjoying that one for the next couple weeks, Penn State. Maybe enjoy it all year. You're going to be easy out in the playoff.
Also, number 3 is LSU.
That's fine. They deserve it at this point in the year. They deserve to be 2, honestly, regardless of how overrated I think they are. When you have the win against the top 5 opponent, you deserve to be in the top 5.
Right.
Or in the top.
But like you said, I am.
Penn State looked awful last week, too. They played FIU, and they looked terrible. I don't understand why. Never mind. I'm not going on Penn State, right? Everyone knows I hate Penn State.
I am curious to see how, obviously, all these rankings change, but especially with LSU being 3.
I'm gonna be insufferable the day that Penn State loses. Just by the way, we might have a celebration stream when they get eliminated. That could happen.
Number 4, we have Oregon. Number 5, we have Miami. Number 6 is Georgia.
Oregon should be number 3. I know that's nitpicking, but
that's what I'm saying.
They just beat a Power 4 team
that's
by
why I was surprised
60.
that LSU was 3. You'd think that, or at least I would think that Oregon and Miami, in my opinion, would be above LSU.
Dude, I wonder if the owner of the AP poll went to Penn State. That happens.
Being two.
That happens because I don't understand this. But keep going. I think that they're a play. I think every team that you just named is a playoff team. Outside of, I'm not going to guarantee LSU is a playoff team because I was sus about them in the beginning of the season, and I'm going to stay sus until they beat someone else outside of Clemson.
In a way that you think that they're fake good, or just not going to.
To be seen. I'm Garrett Nussmeier is still in the fake good category. He's not, like, everyone talks about him like he's an NFL caliber quarterback. I don't personally see it. I don't see it.
Number 6, we have Georgia.
To be seen. I need to see Gunnar Stockton play some quality football.
Right, because Gunnar Stockton was another person that you said is fake good.
Yes.
Number 7 is Texas.
I just told you I think that there's a grave possibility they go 9-3 because their schedule is so tough.
Number 8 is Notre Dame.
I think they're going to backdoor their way in the playoff like they always do. There's not enough really good teams on their schedule for them to lose that many games. Firm belief.
Still love Marcus Freeman. Shout out him. Number 9 is Illinois.
Look at that smile from Marcus Freeman.
All right, I have a little crush on Marcus Freeman.
Finally. Oh, my Lord.
Sue
God,
me.
only took you 4 weeks to admit that you thought he was hot.
Yeah, well,
I understand.
you probably think so too. You were talking about his freaking fade, his hairline, everything.
Because I wanted you to admit it. I knew. Look, he's a good-looking guy, great football coach.
Yeah, but that's the only time I'll talk about.
What do you want?
Yeah, whatever. That's the only time
He's probably one of the better-looking coaches in all of college football. I don't really look like that, but I can't lie. There's a lot of fat college football coaches. It's not, the toughest of competition.
Okay, I just wanted to glaze over that. Number 9.
Dude, pick your word choice better. Sooner and glaze in 2 awful situations? Come on.
Number 9 is Illinois.
I'm really starting to think they're going to backdoor their way into this playoff as well.
I am, like
their schedule. Let me look at their schedule real quick because they have an easy schedule. I literally think they avoid Michigan. No, they avoid Michigan. They avoid Ohio State. Oh, no, they do play Ohio State. At Indiana, at Ohio State, that's it. All right, yeah. They're going to make the playoff. They could lose both those games and they're going to make the playoff. So, Illinois is going to make the playoff.
10, we have Florida State.
No, yeah, if they lose this weekend, Chase, they're not going to make the playoff. I agree. This is a must-win game and I might make sure you tune into my Twitter or tap into the Michigan pregame show to make sure that I'm still feeling these picks because this is a wacky week. There might be some flip-flops on these picks. I'm sorry. I try to keep it that way, but make sure tap in if you want the real picks. Keep going, though.
Did we talk about 10 Florida State?
No.
10 is Florida State. 11.
They got a good shot. I'm not gonna. I don't know. The ACC is still an absolute mess to me. I'm not willing to make any prediction in the ACC yet.
11 is South Carolina.
They don't look like a playoff team right now. They could definitely get there, though. I'm gonna say no. Oklahoma look more like a playoff team than South Carolina at this point.
Number 12 is
South Carolina
Clemson.
doesn't look great. Not right now. That's for sure. You're not getting scared by Troy and making the playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, see, that's the. I can't even say that, though, because Notre Dame made the playoff after losing to NIU last year and made it to the national championship game. So, at the end of the day, yeah, they can. And that grave anomaly is just never going to be able to never leave my head because anything can happen in college football, and that's the beauty of it. That's why I love it.
13 is Oklahoma.
They could definitely do it.
Yeah, I agree.
They looked really good.
I honestly thought that they would be above Clemson.
Mateer made one bad throw all game, and it was a pick. Other than that, he was literally superb. I could see him cooking a bunch of SEC defenses for sure.
14 is Iowa State.
I mean, if you put a gun to my head right now, I'd probably pick them to win the Big 12. So, sure. Sure. I guess. That's so annoying. Big 12 needs to – they need to disband this format. This format sucks. The Big 10 and the SEC are just way better than every other conference. Just sad at this point.
15, Tennessee.
We'll go with no.
16, Texas A&M.
Yes.
17, Ole Miss.
I'm in on Texas A&M. No, Lane Kiffin's going to screw it up like he always does. He's a James Franklin of the SEC.
18, South Florida.
If you put a gun in my head and you told me to pick a Group of 5 team to make the playoff, I'd take them because they have a win against a Power 5 opponent, and they have a win against Boise State, who was the best non-Power 4 team. It's pretty simple.
19 is Alabama.
Alabama, no. I haven't seen enough. I'm kind of saying no to way too many teams. I think I have said yes to about 6 teams.
The ratio is not.
It's looking bleak for a lot of these teams. Some of these teams will backdoor it. I mean, you saw Indiana do it last year, and they were near good enough to play in that playoff. And so, like, teams who aren't deserving will make it. Like, don't have any doubt about that. It's just I'm not going to try to predict those teams. Those teams always are just the most random team possible. Let's be Illinois this year, though. I'm pretty confident.
So 20 is Utah.
Oh, never mind. No. I take back what I said about Iowa State. Utah is going to win the Big 12. They look awesome.
Yeah, they're
and their quarterback
right
is
now.
electric. Devin Damper. He is elite. Their defense looks really good. I think Utah is going to be the Big 12 playoff team. I'm pretty confident about that.
Next is Texas Tech. They play Oregon State.
No. Definitely not. I always hear about Texas Tech, but I never see it.
Number 22, we're at Indiana.
No. No to every other team. I'd even say no to Michigan.
23
I'd
is
even say
Michigan?
no to Michigan right now if you were to
Okay.
If you were to put a gun to my head, like that's the context we're going in. If it meant my life and I had to pick one of these teams to make the playoffs for my life, I would not take any of these teams. Like except like some of the ones at the top.
So just to conclude this list, we got 24 is Auburn, 25 is Missouri.
They're not making it. No chance. I know I talked ish on Jackson Arnold in week 1, but there is no chance he leads that team through the SEC. There's no way. No way. No chance. No way.
Well, that concludes the top 25 list by AP News, and surprisingly enough, that also concludes our show. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all of your patience, all of your feedback. We really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like this video.
My lock of the week is Georgia Tech plus 3.5. That is, I've decided that is going to be my lock of the weekend. Parlay, because I said I'd give one out, so I got to be a man of my word. I'm sorry, Miss Haley, to cut you off. Your outro was spectacular.
I know, I was like really onto something.
I know, you were cooking. I'm sorry, but I got to cook real quick for the people.
No, please do.
Georgia Tech plus 3.5. Oh, I hate these games. These games suck. Florida plus 9.5. Texas A&M teased out to plus 10.5. Vanderbilt teased out to plus 7.5. And then give me, the last one's going to be yucky, and I apologize. It's going to be so dirty, you're not going to want to take it. It is Northwestern plus 27.5 against Oregon, who just beat Oklahoma State by 60. And Northwestern sucks. But
So
when they zig, I got to zag. That's what I'm doing.
yeah, talk about a freaking zag.
Yeah.
That is a okay.
She just said Oregon, I might. Yeah, okay. See, that's the thing. Everyone's going to think Oregon's going to blow out Northwestern. The thing that everyone forgets, they're traveling across the country, and it's grueling, and it's hard to do. Is that enough to cause them to not lose by 4 touchdowns? To be seen.
Yeah, wow. That's a take if I've ever heard of one. Permission to conclude?
You don't need my permission. Come on. Why are you even asking?
All right. Now I'll conclude. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, be sure to like, subscribe. We love your feedback and everything else. Justin, thank you so much for doing what you do, being a great mentor, letting me
Make sure you smash that like button.
And everything else. And we will see you guys.
Make sure you tell Haley how good she did driving the show. She did a great job. First time ever driving the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. But, oh yeah, you have to pause this show. So, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Next Tuesday, be sure to watch some college football this week, and we'll talk about it. Can't wait. Peace.